Yeehaw! Welcome back, y'all. I wanna get this episode done and over with. And then it'll be up to fate whether or not I continue or not. Jesus. This thing is getting worse and worse. Maybe it's some sort of software rather than hardware problem. It's not actually my controller that's the issue. My emulator somehow doing something. For now, though, let's finish this investigation and get to the trials. Alright, where can we find people? It's the curse! The curse! The curse of Tenmatoro! Eek! You outsiders are ignoring the superstitions to our peril! Mind your own business, will you? Ah! Youch! What's all this about a curse? Tenmatoro's gonna curse us all unless you stop sticking your nose where it don't belong. Stop the investigation. Listen to what them superstitions say. Right, how about obeying the law before you go obeying the superstitions? Huh? Hey, what are you doing with Widget around your neck? He's mine. You know better than to go around stealing people's stuff like that. The same goes for my bracelet. Sorry. I promise I won't do it again. You almost kidnapped my sweet little Widget. It's a big jerk. I'm sorry. I guess you can't teach an old raccoon dog new tricks. As long as we have him here, I guess we should ask him about what happened. I can't believe you did that. It's one thing stealing a pair of shoes, but to steal Widget? Grr! Yipes! Mercy! I can't seem to control myself. It's that thieving blood running in my veins. Thieving blood? What's that supposed to mean? Glad you asked. The infamous bandit Azuki Kozo was my grandpappy. Take a gander at this. What exactly am I looking at? Looks like another one of those yokai to me. It's none other than the Azuki Kozo. Robbed from the rich to give to the poor he did. And he'd leave one of these figures at the scene of the crime. What's more, I'm his grandson because he was my grandpappy. Ah, you don't say. Thief's honor, it's the honest truth! Ah, the sloshing sound of Azuki beads scrapping together in the dead of night. It's the magical sound of dirty money getting washed clean for giving out to the poor. I'm Azuki Kozo, watcher of money, giver outer of wealth reborn. Forget the money. You should be washing yourself of this nasty habit. Wait a second. This figure looks familiar. Yes, it looks just like that old dusty figure we found in the Forbidden Chamber. Hey! What are you doing with that there figure? Oh, this? We found it in the Forbidden Chamber. Looks like it's been there practically forever. Could mean my grandpappy broke into the Forbidden Chamber way back. Hey, that reminds me, he once told me there's a treasure in that there chamber. Treasure? What do you know about the treasure in the Forbidden Chamber? Only that it's the greatest get-rich-quick chance in the universe. Grandpappy told me all about it. Said there's an amazing treasure in there. Something amazing in there? Didn't see anything like that though. Your grandfather didn't by chance already steal it, did he? See now there was one of his figures in there that just might be. That grandpappy for ya. Bet he washed that treasure up real good before handing it out to the poor. Of course, because he was so righteous. Court, you mentioned seeing Tenmataro near the scene of the crime. Sorry, I didn't come clean right away, but them superstitions got the better of me. The people of Ninetales Vale sure seem like a superstitious bunch. I'm not surprised you wouldn't want to talk about seeing Tenmataro. Darn right! Them superstitions scare me out of my wits, I tell you! That's why I'm gonna do exactly what they say from now on. You plan on staying here in Ninetales Vale? Yep. I'm gonna keep living right here and keep with the old ways, just like Grandpappy did. Them superstitions are like a rule book to me. Wait, so you're saying you actually believe in these old wives' tales? Ain't you been listening to a word I said? I'm going to do exactly what them superstitions say. Well, I say that's baloney. You gotta leave if you want to. It's clearly written right here. Ignoring the superstitions will cost you your soul. There is, however, one way to save it. Your immediate departure from the village. Oh. So according to this, you shouldn't even be here, let alone talking with us. You said you plan on staying right here in Ninetales Vale. But if you really believed in the superstitions, you would have been long gone by now. I know you've been lying to me. Time to come clean, Mr. Filch. Yipes! You were lying about believing in the superstitions, weren't you? Sorry, but I didn't have no choice. So what was the real reason why you couldn't talk about seeing Tenmataro? It's all that pretty boy's fault, Mr. LaBelle, if you know what I mean. He told me to say a word about seeing not to say a word about seeing Tenmataro. Said if I did, he'd do to me what the superstition said would happen. It was Mr. LaBelle who muzzled you. Why would Mr. LaBelle want to scare you into silence? Mr. LaBelle was trying to protect that little maid gal. It was on account of rumor. The one about her being possessed. That rumor again. I guess we really do have to talk to Mayor Tenma about the possession rumor. Yeah, hey, watch it. I'll be taking this back now. Kinda like family to me. Could've just asked instead of feeling it. Is that all we wanted to ask, Mr. Filch? Yeah, I think that was it. Let's go see Mr. Tenmataro one more time. Just thinking about dealing with that yokai again makes me want to say pass. Ooh, it's so hot and uncomfortable. 32 degrees Celsius. The weather makes no sense. One day it's cold, the next it's hot. I actually want to turn this around a little. Lord Tenma, your attorneys are here to see you, your malevolence. Why are you speaking like that? Oh, Mayor Tenma, you've returned. Yes, well, Jixie came by earlier to apply a new charm to my head. It seems to be suppressing the demon within me. That's a relief. Maybe we'll actually get somewhere this time. So, what can I do for you today? I'd like to ask about the rumor that Jinxie is possessed. Ah, she allegedly left the yokai evidence at the scene while under a demon's power. At least that's what the prosecution is going to claim at tomorrow's trial. Huh? No matches this warding charm for me! Ah! The charm! Tanmataro's back! These foolish mortals, they shall regret blaming that child for my doings. Ah, I blew it. That question brought that yokai back. Probably won't drop the act until Jinxie's name is cleared either. I'd like to ask you about something your aide, Lord LaBelle, mentioned. Did you know Jinxie is rumored to be possessed? I know not of what you speak. You're not trying to protect Jinxie, are you? I, Tanmataro, Demon Lord of the Yokai, protect a mere mortal? Caw! No affections do I possess for your race of humans. Please, we already proved there was a third party disguised as a yokai at the scene. I thought for sure I closed the door properly. I'm taking a shower after this. But if you deny it tomorrow, we'll never be able to clear Mayor Tenma's name. But I have already told you, I know not of what you speak. I don't think we'll get anything more out of him. It's all over unless we can somehow prove that Jinxie didn't plant that yokai evidence. Hey Polo, I think I've got this one. I think I can prove that she didn't do it. Really? Sure. I should be able to use psychology to explain that whole possession thing. Knock yourself out then. Can really count on her when it counts. Can't wait to get a haircut. Mayor Tenma, Jinxie isn't possessed. I remember a story. One of my classmates had long hair. She's a girl. Very, possessive about her beauty. There was the sports festival and she was gonna do cheerleading. I remember watching her in practice. Along with everyone else. And, yeah, she really got in trouble a lot. It's not just, it wasn't just because she was pretty. I already mentioned this, but I don't really find anyone attractive. Come to think of it, no one else ever saw her as pretty, so redact that statement. She's not pretty, she is petty. That's a better word for it. Yeah, kept trying to fix her hair mid-dance and freaking dance mentor guys all over her for that. I believe her so-called possession episodes are a form of somnambulism. Somnambulism, you mean sleepwalking? Yes, I believe she is exhibiting a rare form of disorder. It's usually brought on by repressed stress. Mr. Mayor, didn't her symptoms start soon after she began her job in Ninetales Vale? When the child visited last, she did speak of dreading yokai and how they rob her of sleep each night. I knew it. The lack of sleep is causing her to enter an unconscious state. And that means she can't be trying to protect you, at least not on a conscious level. So then, the Tenmataro that was spotted in the manor wasn't Jinxie. Sleepwalking, eh? That would indeed explain the matter. Look, Tenmataro's spirit. Of the mayor's body. Can you tell us the truth now, Mayor Tenma? Very well. The least I could do for a superb exorcist such as you. Mayor Tenma, you didn't leave those feathers and tracks at the scene, did you? I did not. Neither I nor Jinxie have anything to do with that. That was the killer's doing, no doubt. I knew it! You suspect Florent is behind all this? But why? Did he really want Ninetales' veil that badly? Can you think of any reason why? Looking back, he did seem fixated on Tenmataro for a spell. Ah, could it be? Perhaps he was attempting to release Tenmataro. That's crazy. Are you saying that yokai is real? Whatever the case, Tenmataro brings nothing but pain and misfortune. It's as the superstitions warn, you must not gaze upon him nor free him from his prison. But how can people actually believe that? Well, at least we know who's behind this whole Tenmataro thing now. And I think we need to have another nice long chat with Mr. LaBelle. Your dinner is ready, your malevolence. Ah, an offering to the Demon King. You may place it right there. The kitchen crew poured their heart and soul into making it. Good day now. Souls happen to be a favorite of mine. Just hold the hearts next time. Caw-caw, caw-caw! Yes, your malevolence, I'll remember that. How long is he planning to keep up this yokai charade? Well, we've already talked to Mr. Filch and Mayor Tenma, so why don't we go see Florent LaBelle next? Now that we know the truth, we won't be able to claim that the Tenmataro was Jinxie or the Mayor anymore. The real question is, how are we going to get him to admit it was him? Okay, now let's practice that again, Filchy. From the top. Mr. LaBelle was in the foyer at the time of the crime. And when we, heard a scream, the heck, what was the next part again? Arrgh! You have the memory capacity of a flea! This is the 30th time, you know. Now, 100 times more and we're done. What on earth are they practicing? Oh, I ain't cut out for this. Whoopsie daisy. Oh! Oh, begging a pardon, Mr. LaBelle, sir. It's just all this practice. Yikes! Unbelievable. What if he had sullied my outfit with those grubby paws of yours? Filch LaBelle's wallet just now? So, what do you think they're up to this time, Polo? Oh, it's you two. Eavesdropping, are we? You peasants are so tacky. Well, what do you want with me? Confession is being that Tenmataro imposter would be nice right about now. Mr. Filch filled me in on a conversation you two had about how you told him not to say a word about seeing Tenmataro. Filch, why you... Yipes! I told you nothing good would come of you running your mouth. So why did you want to keep Mr. Filch quiet like that, Mr. LaBelle? Why, to protect darling little Jinxie, of course. But Jinxie was never really possessed. She was sleepwalking. Being asleep at the time, she couldn't have been consciously trying to protect the mayor. That also means she couldn't have possibly been Tenmataro. Interesting. But where are you going with this? Since you asked so politely, I believe you have a different reason for trying to keep Mr. Filch quiet. That reason would be to deflect doubt away from the one who was really Tenmataro. Now this is getting interesting. Are you insinuating that I'm Tenmataro? So sorry to disappoint, but I'm nothing of the sort. That's right. Mr. LaBelle even told me Tenmataro... I said Tenmataro was Jinxie, you fool! Honestly, you have the memory capacity of a flea. Practice it 100 times more times. Yipes! So, have you been called to testify tomorrow? Yes, and I'm so looking forward to my courtroom debut. But you'll just have to wait until then. I'll be waiting. With a special piece of evidence I've been saving just for you. Filgy, wake up, you lazy bones! Huh? What? Was I sleeping? Must have been that sweet cologne of yours, Mr. LaBelle. Made me right sleepy, it did. Well, it's time for your lesson on what to do and say tomorrow. Oh, I'm begging you, not another lesson. I ain't gonna finish thinking and remembering stuff. Arg! Right up the Shinazola. Keep quiet and do exactly as I say. No, please! Anything but another lesson!
There they go. Missed our chance to get the truth out of him.
Yeah, but we'll get the proof we need in court tomorrow one way or another. All that's left now is that lie Jinxie told. We better go clear that up before tomorrow.
Think they're done questioning Jinxie?
Maybe. Let's see if she's over on Yokai Lane shopping for more charms.
Accursed nine-tailed fox, the time for settling the score's nigh. My grudge has but festered over time, at last vengeance will be mine.
Seems to be sleepwalking again. Maybe if I speak softly, I won't startle her and get a charm plastered on my forehead.
Psst, Jinxie? Huh? Oh, hello, Mr. Demon Lawyer. Ah, my charms must have fallen off again.
Whew. Guess I can avoid a charge slap by throwing down my cords of steel.
Are they done questioning you, Jinxie?
Uh-huh.
And on the way back, I stopped here to buy a new charm that was just released.
Yeah, which one?
Oh, I'm going with the nine-tailed fox and Tenmataro. It shows them dancing together.
Really? Two bitter rivals dancing together.
Uh-huh. It's a charm for rebuilding burnt bridges.
Ah, right, for the municipal merger issue.
No, it's for the demon lawyer and the insomniac prosecutor. It'll stop you two from fighting like you did in court this morning.
We weren't fighting, it was just a spirited debate. Ow!
No fighting.
Charm slapped again.
Polo, if you're done playing around, let's find out what she was lying about.
Jinxie, it seems like you're starting to remember things. You already said the feathers and tracks weren't there when you discovered the crime. Have you remembered anything else that seems important?
Like what?
Tell us what you saw that day. Maybe you'll remember something else this time.
When I opened the door, Papa and Alderman Cutie were collapsed in the Fox chamber. That's when Papa told me to call an ambulance and police. That's all he said before he passed out in the chair.
I knew it. She's holding something back. Shong. Kinda missed the whole jittery eye effect thing. Gotcha! You were very nervous when you said that's all he said, weren't you? I know because I saw your fingers move as if you were going to slap someone with a charm.
Huh?
Listen to me, Jinxie. This is very important. Did Mayor Tenma say anything else to you?
It was nothing. He was just talking in his sleep.
Talking in his sleep? So you admit that he did say something else.
Ah! How could you tell? Only a demon could have such powers.
You could say that some sort of power, demon powers.
Like I said, he was just talking in his sleep. I mean, why else would Papa say something like that?
To be a little more specific.
Before he fainted, he said,
"Forgive me, Jinxie. I killed Alderman QB."
He said what?
The mayor actually confessed to the crime?
But he didn't mean it. He couldn't possibly have known what he was saying. He was probably possessed, or maybe he was in the middle of a nightmare.
Nightmare? No, this is a nightmare.
This is one statement I wish I'd never heard. What in the world are we going to do now? Right. Just believe in my client, even if all I can see ahead is darkness and despair. Jinxie, does Prosecutor Blackwell know about your father's confession? I didn't mention it when he was questioning me. I mean, there's no way Pop was the killer. Why would the mayor confess like that? Could he really have been dreaming or simply delirious? Who knows, but I sure feel like I'm in a living nightmare right now. Apollo, what are we going to do about tomorrow's trial? Yes. The crime scene was locked tight until Jinxie arrived, and our clients even confessed. Not only that, Jinxie has been accused of planting the yokai evidence. Both the mayor and Jinxie are going to prison if we don't do something. I know. Well, let's see here. Our lack of a third party in the locked room is a major problem. Jinxie has testified that when she first opened the door, Alderman QB and Mayor Tenma were the only people she saw in the Fox Chamber. But the real killer must have been hiding in there as well. Considering the room was locked tight, that's the only logical explanation. Our mystery person must have fled the Fox Chamber when it was opened. And that's when Jinxie saw what she thought was Tenma Tara. But... Papa and the Alderman were the only people there. I didn't see anyone else. What's going on here? Ravel's extremely pale, but he's far from transparent. So just how did he hide himself at the scene of the crime? Whatever it takes in court tomorrow, Polo. We have to take down that dirty, rotten Tenma Taro Flort LaBelle. Right, we'll get him with a legal exorcism, justice style. Thirsty! Back. I'm taking a little bit more liberal usage of the pause system. The pause feature in OBS. I swear I don't do cheats in between pauses, breaks. I literally just went to get water. Let's boogie.
Court is back in session for the trial of Damien Tenma. Apollo Justice, defense team leader, is ready, Your Honor.
Athena Sykes, assistant defendant, is ready too, Your Honor. Je suis prêt.
As chipper as ever, I see, and in French no less. And the prosecution? Very well then. By the way, I asked Detective Fulbright to provide sturdier shackles today. There will be no more of your funny business this time, Prosecutor Blackwell. Now, your opening statement, if you would. I believe it's standard procedure for the prosecution to handle it.
Looks like the judge is really bringing it today. Probably realized how Blackwell played him. That was one mean game of Simon Says. Yeah, Dishonor has to fight to defend his honor today.
Your baldness. It's plain to see that you've always dreamed of delivering an epic opening statement. I have? I don't know if I'd say that. Why, of course you have. I saw it in your eyes the last time you gave the opening statement. That was the look of one who yearns diggly for the thrill of an epic opening statement. For decades now, you have been watching opening statements from your bench. They were the crown jewels of the court, the one thing you could not possess. The crown jewels of the court?
Now at long last they are within your grasp. How could you possibly refuse? Oh, so you don't mind if I do it then? I'll make a special exception just this one. Here we go again. Yep, Mark Blackwell's mind games. I've got the judge thinking he's the one who wanted it. Well, in that case, I think I might go ahead and make the opening statement myself. Ahem, in yesterday's session, we learned the shocking truth that the victim Alderman Rex QB was the Amazing Nine-Tails. We also learned that the Amazing Nine-Tails was a key figure in the yokai craze and anti-merger protests. It was further revealed that upon learning Rex QB's secret identity, Mayor Damien Tenma murdered him. The fact that the crime took place in a tightly locked room was also brought to light, and the only people in that tightly locked room were the defendant and victim. The defense proposed the existence of a hypothetical third party, but further investigation revealed no proof of a third party who had escaped the room. Ergo, we must conclude that the evidence against the defendant is, well, conclusive. Hey! Did I say something wrong? That was quite astonishing. You've truly outdone yourself this time. Oh, one more thing to boast about to my grandchild. Well, this was not an unexpected turn of events. Now then, it seems the prosecution has called a new witness to testify. The inexplicable yokai evidence left at the scene of the crime. Well, does that not demand some sort of explanation? The feathers and tracks? Weren't those left by the mayor while he was possessed? That was but an act to protect his daughter. Oh, yes, of course, I had suspected as much. Wait, did he actually believe the mayor's award-winning performance? His daughter was the one who planted the yokai evidence. Ergo, the true identity of the yokai in the matter was the Manor's maid, the Jinxie Tenma. Objection! Prosecution is engaging in mere conjecture. Would you care for some witness testimony then? For I am ready to prove that the little scamp is the one behind the Tenma Taro farce. Witness testimony, I'll bet he needs Filch and that creep LaBelle. Very well then. Bailiff, would you bring in the first witness? Mr. Filch, you made quite the hasty exit yesterday. See that it doesn't happen again today. Been known for my hasty retreat since I was a kid. It's a trademark of mine. Indeed, you managed to give a total of 5 bailiffs the slip. Like those amateurs could ever nab me. Yipes! Perhaps we should shackle you by the neck. That would keep you in place. Yipes! No, please. I'm liable to rip my own head off if I start running. Your statement, now. Yes, sir, Mr. Blackhead, sir. Maybe the hasty retreat, but there's no escaping Prosecutor Blackwell. Yeah, Blackwell doesn't strike me as the give-up-easy type. Now then, Mr. Filch, your testimony, please. Specifically the true nature of the yokai you saw in the manor shortly after the crime. Tenmataro's really that little maid gal. Ain't no doubt about it. I mean, the Tenmataro I saw was just a little thing about her size. But the little run had a big old staff. I seen it when she came into the foyer. Betcha she stole it from the Forbidden Chamber after stumbling on the crime scene. She was gonna use it to wall up me on account of my fierce reputation, I know it! So, Tenmataro was short in stature. And that's because it was this Jinxie Tenma all along. You betcha, besides all the rest in the matter were way taller than her. Feigning height is but an easy thing. But a big ox like the defendant could never pass for short. But the Tenmataro impersonator was walking on their knees. We're no knee walking, I seen it myself. Then perhaps that yokai really was Miss Tenma after all. All monsters are not but tricks, either of the mind or the cheap parlor variety. So you're saying she created an illusion like one of those magical eye things? Precisely. Human senses are easily deceived. Take the fellow in the cell next to me. Each night he cries and screams about some ghost he thinks he sees. But in truth, it was simply the janitor. Oh, Prosecutor Blackwell just gave up the ghost. Literally. The janitor's deathly complexion and all-white attire are no doubt partially to blame. That and the fact that he constantly mutters about taking vengeance for this or that. Oh no! Oh no, that janitor is up to no good. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. Let's see if I can avoid making this take longer than it should be.
Objection!
It would seem that Tenma Taro was in fact not this innocent little girl. Huh? How you figured that? You claimed the Tenma Taro you saw had one of those staves from the Forbidden Chamber, but it would have been impossible for Miss Tenma to get a hold of that one. Care to elaborate, Mr. Justice? The mayor swallowed this key shortly after the murder. He wanted to keep the killer out of the Forbidden Chamber. What's this? This key was deep in the mayor's stomach when Miss Tenma discovered the crime scene. So you see, it would have been impossible for her to get into the Forbidden Chamber. In short, the Tenma Taro seen holding that staff could not have been Jigsaw Tenma. Ah! Arg! What? What's with the lag? But then who does the defense believe was impersonating Tenma Taro? Are Tenma Taro impersonators none other than the Mayor Tenma? Such accusations beg evidence. Aside from his ghastly appearance, can you prove he is the yokai we seek? Yes, in fact I can. Very well, let's see where the defense is going with this. Mr. Justice, please show us proof as to the identity of the Tenma Taro impersonator. So that is the evidence you have to offer. And how, pray tell, does that inform us of who it was that entered the Forbidden Chamber? Oh, fuck, what? Ah, there we go. Fuck, I got confused. Found this hand cream in the Forbidden Chamber. And we know that whoever was Tenma Taro took one of the staves out of there. In short, I believe whoever this hand cream belongs to is the yokai impersonator we're looking for. But Mr. Justice, how do you propose to identify the hand cream's owner? Why are there so many spelling errors in this thing? I'm glad you asked, Your Honor. The defense requests a fingerprint analysis on this piece of evidence. It might tell us who it belongs to. Interesting, so you expect to find the yokai's prints there? Very well, I hereby call a short recess while we wait for the fingerprint results. No need for that, Your Boldness. We have the prints of everyone at the manor that day. We called Prosecutor Blackwell. Could anyone be more whipped? Fulbright. Analyze this for prints. You have 3 minutes. Your wish is my command. Very well then. I guess we'll just wait right here. It would seem the fingerprint analysis is complete. What do the results show? What in the world? They're Florent and the Bells prints, aren't they? This is absurd! Prosecutor Blackwell? I'm not going to like this, am I? Don't tell me. They're Tenmataro's prints! Fingerprint analysis has revealed that the prints belong to... Phineas Filch.
Objection!
Wait, what? What? Then Mr. Lavelle wasn't the one who entered the Forbidden Chamber?
Objection!
Why, you tricksy little tanuki, explain yourself now!
Sure, the prints are mine. I mean, I did pilfer that hand cream from Mr. Lavelle after all.
So you're the one who entered the Forbidden Chamber?
So what if I did? You got a problem with it? Yipes!
You fool of a tanuki! Seriously, what is up with this lag? Order! Mr. Justice, care to explain what this would mean? Excellent question. The fact that Mr. Filch was in the Forbidden Chamber... Wait a second. Does this mean that Tenmataro holding that staff was... Phineas Filch?
Yipes! Another cat out of the bag!
Mr. Filch is Tenmataro! I'll talk about a twist. You don't understand. Does this mean Mr. Filch is the real killer? The witness will explain himself this instant.
Begging your pardon, your honorship, but I was just doing what the alderman told me. He wanted me to be Tenmataro in the village exorcism ritual.
Oh, you mean that event at the Nine Tails Veil Festival? So that was you inside the Tenmataro costume?
Yep, and after the event I went to watch that pro wrestling program. But it bored me to tears on account of the wrestlers being complete jobbers.
I didn't actually watch the entire wrestling match.
That's when I looked at the Tenmataro costume and got a great idea. Nobody can tell it's me while I'm wearing it. And because of them superstitions, no matter what I do, the village won't say a word.
In other words, you use the superstitions to effectively render yourself invisible. Why did you want to enter the Forbidden Chamber in the first place?
Because I saw the treasure there! Thought that was my big chance to sneak on and nab it.
Treasure. He went in there not knowing his grandfather already pilfered it. Guess that's one tale that didn't get passed down from grandpappy to grandson. Wait, how exactly did you get into the Forbidden Chamber? There was a meeting in the Fox Chamber that day. Plus the mayor swallowed the only key that could open the Forbidden Chamber's door. You couldn't have possibly gotten in.
I could through the air vent in the foyer. The vents left on the alderman's picture. I went on in and made a nice little hole. Used that to get into the air duct that leads to the Forbidden Chamber, I did.
You what? But how is that even possible? Wait a sec. Remember that air vent in the Forbidden Chamber? Mr. Filch found a way to get into that air duct. And that's how he got from the foyer vent to the Forbidden Chamber vent.
So Tenmataro was nothing more than a cut burglar, or rather a tanuki burglar. And we're back to being without anyone to charge for the alderman's murder.
Looks like our so-called yokai is nothing more than one big troublemaker. Tell me, Mr. Filch, what did you do after fleeing the foyer?
I got out of that costume right quick. Who would have just caused trouble at that point?
And where's that costume now?
Heck if I know. And it ain't my fault if you never find it.
The police searched every nook and cranny. No yokai costume was left in that manor. If it was tossed outside the manor. Ah! No way! But maybe, just maybe... The defense seems to have hit upon an idea. Well, go on, Mr. Justice. Okay, here's what I think. Mr. Filch, did you get rid of the costume here? Did you toss it out the window? Because that would certainly explain why it didn't turn up inside the manor. You think I tossed it out the window? That costume cost me a pretty penny! So why would I go do something like that? I can think of a few reasons. Any bright ideas, Apollo? Well, assuming the costume really was tossed out from the window, then the next question would be, what happened to it after that? And if I'm right, I might have just the thing to prove what happened to the costume. Phineas Filch, I have just the evidence for you. You do? This evidence proves you got rid of your Tenmataro costume through the window. I do? Ah, that's Tenmataro flying through the sky? And just how does that prove Mr. Filch threw his costume out the window? It's quite simple. That's not Tenmataro in the photo. It's the costume Mr. Filch threw out. Oh, that's crazy talk. You ain't serious, are ya? There's a steep cliff right outside the foyer window, meaning the manor's pretty high up. The costume flew through the air after it was tossed out. That's when the photo was taken. In other words, the photo of Tenmataro really was a flight of fancy. What? Yikes! Oh my, so there really never was yokai. I really don't see what the problem is. It's been working just fine. Why is it lagging now every now and then? During those scenes with the people talking. Aw, I can't keep any of them cats bad. Can I still file a claim for the lost costume? This more than proved the defense's position. Gypsy Tenma had nothing to do with staging the yokai sighting. Care to raise any objections, Prosecutor Blackwell? None whatsoever. I'll deal with that tricksy Tanuki after I've dealt with this case. We did it. Keep going. Now all we have to do is make Fort LaBelle take the stand.
Objection!
Sheathing the sword a bit early, are we not? Huh? Nothing has been proven beyond a doubt. Take this tricksy little Tanuki, for instance. How do you suppose he was able to exit the Forbidden Chamber? Probably the same way he got in, through the chamber's air vent? And what of the feathers and tracks of the crime at the scene of the crime? It would suggest that the Tanuki exited through the chamber door, not the air vent.
Objection!
But the Forbidden Chamber doesn't open from the inside. So what you're saying makes no sense. Right? Someone on the outside opened the door for you. Isn't that right? Yep, that's right, Mr. Blackjack. The door suddenly sprung right open.
Hold it!
Sprung right open? Who was on the other side? Didn't get a good look on account of the sudden glare. like how the reflection from my head blinds fellow moviegoers emerging from the dark. That's when I snatched that staff and made my daring escape. And then that little maid gal spotted me as I hightailed it down the hall.
That means the Forbidden Chamber wasn't opened until after the crime was discovered.
But wait, still don't know who opened it. Maybe there really was a third person in the Fox Chamber.
Objection!
Well, you little Tanuki. When the Forbidden Chamber opened, did you see the accused passed out there? Nope, only one there was the alderman and he was dead as a doornail. The accused wasn't there. What do you suppose he was up to? Uh-oh, I don't like where this is going. Ah, don't tell me. Plainly, the only one who could have opened the Forbidden Chamber was the accused, Damien Tenma. Darg!
Wait a second! There had to be somebody else besides Mayor Tenma there.
Really? And who might that be?
Oh, well, that would be...
Objection!
It seems our feisty little lass has gotten the most important thing. Evidence has forgotten the most important thing.
I didn't forget. I was just testing your attention to details.
Miss Sykes, you can't prove your point without proof of some sort of it. Without some proof of some sort. It's a proven fact.
Sorry. Guess I put my foot in my mouth again.
No, Tina. We're definitely onto something here.
We are?
Think about it. If Welch was stuck inside the Forbidden Chamber, one of the alibis we heard would no longer hold any water. The defense would like to call a new witness to the stand. Someone who knew Mr. Filch was stuck in the Forbidden Chamber, and by virtue of knowing this, has an alibi that no longer adds up. Ah, not that insufferable. Very well, the court will hear what Mr. Justice has to say. Whose alibi no longer adds up? Trucy. I guess it's finally time.
Take that!
Why, that's as the defendant's aides or at LaBelle. Didn't he claim to be in the foyer at the time of the crime? True, but in his alibi he also claimed that Mr. Filch was in the foyer too. However, as we all know now, Mr. Filch was not there with Mr. LaBelle at the time. In short, Mr. LaBelle's alibi has disappeared. Ah! Warren LaBelle's alibi was one big lie. Isn't that right, Mr. Filch? I reckon there ain't no keeping that cat in the bag here either. It was all Mr. LaBelle's idea. He told me he'd button his lip about me breaking into the Forbidden Chamber, and in return he said we'd vouch for each other's alibi. Shame on you, Mr. Filch. Perjury is a serious crime, you know. Aw, shucks. Mercy, your honorship, mercy! Ah! I also assert that the person who opened the Forbidden Chamber for Mr. Filch. The camera's still good. Was none other than Laurent LaBelle. After all, his alibi has just been proven to be a complete fabrication. I see. We will take a 20-minute recess, after which time we will see what Mr. LaBelle has to say for himself. Yes, we're finally going to drag that slippery snake onto the stand. In the meantime, the prosecution will question Mr. LaBelle about these new allegations.
We did it, Apollo! We finally dragged Mr. LaBelle into court!
Yeah?
Hey, right along face.
Can't help but feel I'm missing something important. Plus, Prosecutor Blackwell's bound to mount a counterattack.
You really are a worrywart, aren't you? You'll be fine. That Mr. Figure who opened the Forbidden Chamber for Mr. Filch had to have been Florent LaBelle.
I know, but It's not what's bugging me. I wish I could put my finger on it, though.
At any rate, the big showdown with Mr. LaBelle is up next, so chin up, Apollo.
See you.